Hey, what's going on YouTube? It is Sunday, the 28th. We still don't have access to the game if you're a Facebook player, so I've been working on some other things, yeah, that's where this video is coming from. So this video is actually brought to us by request from somebody. This is a video brought to us by Rooks426. Rooks had a question for me. What are some 3 to 5 star base TMRs and STMRs that you might want multiple copies of instead of simply fusing or selling extra copies of the unit? And so I thought about it and I thought, that's a huge list, but I got some free time on my hands, so maybe I'll put together a little collection. And I started going through it. And I realized that I'm going to need some criteria to kind of break this down. So here's what we've got for criteria. In order for it to make my list, it has to provide one of the following things. Either a unique or difficult to obtain property, either that, or it needs to have multiple benefits on the same item. Now, those multiple benefits need not be like totally different, so it could be separate, or it could be similar properties, but multiple of them, or different properties. And we'll talk more about that in a second. Or number 3, killers. Killers, super important. I do an entire series of videos about killers and collecting killer gear and items. So obviously killers are super important. And there you go. So those are my criteria for what is going to end up on this list. Now, the next thing you want to think about is whether or not you can actually pull this off. So I'm going to get this out of the way. Here are some assumptions. The assumptions are that you have these units lying around. Maybe you've been pulling on units for the duration of the game and you haven't sold or gotten rid of anything for all time. And so maybe you've got some 3-star units that don't exist in the pool anymore. And so the reality is the pool has been like changed over time as far as what units you can get. And maybe you can't get some of these units that are on this list right now. But if you had them and you thought it might be useful, then there you go. They're on my list. The other assumptions are that you have the resources to pull this off. So like you have the Gil, Omni Prisms, Unit of Choice tickets, STMR Moogles, regular TMR Moogles. You have the resources to kind of like shove stuff together to get multiple copies of units. Maybe you have that, and you also have kind of a mindset for how you play that values flexibility over raw power in some circumstances. And so I'll talk about that as we go, which ones are useful for like certain things, but maybe not useful or versatile all the time, but will give you an edge in certain circumstances. So we'll talk about that as we go. What I'm going to be doing as I go is I'm going to pop up a Google spreadsheet, and it's a really long spreadsheet. There's like hundreds of items that I have narrowed down, honestly, from 1-star base units. I went above and beyond. I included 1-star base friend point units, as well as 3 to 5-star bases. Now the list, I will say, for each category gets smaller and smaller as we go. So as we start with like 3-star base units, and then 4-star base units, and then 5-star base units, and then TMRs and STMRs. It does get smaller as we go, but it's a long list, and so I'm not going to talk about each and every entry on this list. I'm going to talk about my favorites. But what I am also going to do is I'm going to publish this. I'm going to make the spreadsheet available. So if you're watching this video and you just want to take a look at the spreadsheet and you don't want to watch the whole video, that's fine. Bear in mind, you're going to get commentary on the list that you're not going to get just by reading it by watching the video. So, stick around if you're interested in the commentary. If you just want to see the list, check the list in the description. Rooks, thanks for suggesting this. It gave me something to think about for a couple of days, and some work to do, putting this together. So, without further ado, here's the list. All right, here's the list. So we're starting out with some 3-star base units. So here we go. So right at the very top, the Guardian Visor from Ladle. It's an accessory. It gives you a unique property, the ability to equip heavy shields. Now there is an equip heavy shield materia that we're going to come to later, but this is on an accessory. So if you want it on an accessory, there you go. Mystical Incense Burner, Majora. It's in a unique accessory. It gives you auto refresh. kind of cool. Same thing with Flapping Wings from Falma. It gives you jump damage. There's not very much out there that gives jump damage, but there's a couple others, but this one's a TMR. Pretty cool. Cannon's Blade, and then also Aqua Blade a couple down. So this is from Cannon and Camille. This gives you dual wield for swords. These are weapons. So if you can wear a sword already, you can give this to you, and then you can wear 2 swords instead of 1 sword. Kind of neat. The Revolving Saw and the Machine Gun from Conrad and Jean. They're budget 2-handed weapons from 3-star based Trustmaster rewards. Awesome. Speaking of dual wield, we've got the Bowie Knife from Abel. It gives dual wield. The Vishnu Vest from Edward gives multiple element resistances, and this is a huge one. So anytime something gives you more than 1 elemental resistance, I put that really high up on the list, and it's a very, very good thing to grab. So there you go. So Vishnu Vest, Minerva Bustier from Celise. That one's only for females, you know, awkward. It's 2022, but there it is. So lots of elemental resistances there. The Ribbon from Kefka. It's an all status ailment resistance, so that's a unique property. I didn't include anything that gives any amount of status resistance except for a couple different circumstances. Anything that gives all status ailment resistance, though, huge in my book. So Ribbons from Kefka, but there's a couple other of those on this list. 20-sided die from Saz. Has evasion and critical damage boost. Critical damage boost is a totally unique property, so these are super, super valuable for Riser clears. Riser really likes these. The Lordly Robe from Alma gives automatic protect and shell at the start of the fight, and since green magic got upgraded, you get mitigations off of that and stat boosts from the auto protect and shell. Sweet. Moogle Plushie from Iris is a light shield that gives 30% passive provoke. Really, really nice item for building passive provoke units on a budget. Angel Earrings from 3-star Freya gives you high dark resistance, right? And I think it's like 50, and automatic regen. Pretty cool. Miracle Shoes from Sirius is another one that does auto buffs, auto protect, auto shell, and auto regen. Pretty neat. Stick that in your shift form, and you're going to get all that in the base form too. Pretty sweet. We're getting into abilities. Successor's Talent from Shepherd gives multiple element resistances. Right? Honorable Rod Arts from Croa gives equip rod as well as some magic boosts. So anything that does like gives you an equipment, like allows you to equip something else, I included that on this list because I think those are super valuable. Dual Wield from Zidane gives you dual wield. Used to be like one of the best TMRs in the game. Soldier's Protection gives you 2 killers. 2 killers. Really, really cool. Similarly, Machine Killer from Edgar gives you a killer, which is kind of nice. Black Impulse from Black Waltz number 3 gives you multiple element resistances. Alrighty, we're going to scroll down. There we go. Ignorance from Jack gives you automatic LB fill every turn. These are some equipment ones. So equip Heavy Shield from Charlotte, equip Large Sword from Garland, Heavy Armor from Firion, Short Sword from Pinello, Axe from Laney, Spear from Fang, Staff from Rosilia, Bow from Artemios. They just let you equip stuff that you otherwise couldn't. So that's really valuable for some units. Dual Cast from Ludmiel lets you cast 2 of any spell, not just black magic or white magic. It lets you do 2 of any spell. Very, very nice. Barrage is one from Luna. Lets you attack 4 times. We have other ways of working with this now because Luna's not available in the regular pool, only the EX pool. Very, very rare unit. But if you've got her, Barrage is pretty cool. Meteor from Golbez is an MP scaling physical type magic imbuable attack. Very flexible to put on units that can equip that black magic that is that high. And then I included Firegaw, Thundaga, and Blizzaga from Vivi, Creel, and Rydia. You can't really get these again. They're in the EX pool, but they give chaining frames. They give Chaos Wave Awakened chaining frames. Now, we have other ways of getting Chaos Wave Awakened chaining frames on the party that I think are maybe more efficient, mainly in the form of White Dragon Ling. But if you wanted to give somebody those spells, you could. You could also, at this point, skip those and just use Bolting Strike frames from Fyra, Blizzara, and Thundera, or Darkra. Those, because those are easier to, you can just craft those. But these are TMRs, right? So we're talking about those. And those, my friends, are the 3-star TMRs that we were looking at. So there you go. We're through the 3 stars, and we're moving on to the 4 stars. I'm going to scroll all the way down. Okay. Into the 4 stars. Almaz's glasses give MP cost reduction. This is our first MP cost reduction item, which is kind of cool. It's an accessory. MP cost reduction is very, very important for some units. Pretty cool. Mind Protector from Freeze is one of the highest high spirit heavy armors that you can get. It also has MP Refresh on it. Really good for magic tanks on a budget. Fatal Knuckles and Lagoa is a budget two-handed weapon for from Amber and Tomoe in the 4-star category. Chic Summer Hat, I wear this all the time. It is a high fire resistance item. Dur de Blas from Joachim is a budget two-handed instrument with resistance on it for light element. Riku's Pouch is OP. It gives you 4 different useful skills. Mystical Skull from Helena is an overlooked item with LB fill rate and MP refresh on it. Pretty cool. Ash's Ring from Ash gives extremely high light resistance for a 4-star accessory, as well as having magic on it. Craftsman's Secret Book. If you ever wanted to give yourself fire, wind, or earth element, the Craftsman's Secret Book is for you. It just lets you imbue yourself for several turns with those elements, which is pretty cool. Bonds with the Aeons is from Isaru. Esperfill on a budget. 4-star unit has Esperfill. So anytime I'm building a unit for wanting to have Esperfill so I can get an Esper clear or something like that. There you go. You want to have Esperfill, and there's a 4-star unit with it. Isaru. Phantom Force from Eclipsa gives you bonus Esper stats, which stacks with everything. This is the cheapest version of this you can get, but there's a handful of other items that do it. Heart Overcoming Hatred from Kyanos. Budget, LB damage, and LB fill. Okay, pretty cool. 4-star unit has LB damage on it. Very nice. Dragon's Tribe from Race, multiple elements resistance. Artistic from Meletti has MP cost reduction. I didn't even realize it did that. I learned something today. Ubel, Reaper of the Dust Storm, gives you a plant killer. Pretty cool. Magical Potential from Magna. True double hand magic on a budget. Very nice. Kindness from Deuce. Keeping Back the Dark from Ravis. High dark and fire resistance. Patriotic Recall from Wrastler is a really good HP and defense and light resistance, so really good for a physical tank. Proof of Talent from Chloe gives you a budget counter chance increase, so if you don't have like Looming Wrath, for example, for your Chow build, you're going to want Chloe's Proof of Talent instead. Barrier Master is an all elements resistance, which is really cool. That's from Mystia. Loyal Warrior from Core increases your chance of having critical hits, which is kind of cool. And then Resolve from King has 7% MP refresh, which is really pretty high for a 4-star base TMR. Discernment from a unit called 7 has the ribbon effect. So if you want to have like ribbon without equipping a ribbon, you can just equip Discernment. It's really, really good. We're going to go ahead and scroll down here. And then Heaven's Guidance from Orin is an active ability, so you can give one ally 40% general mitigation for 2 turns with Heaven's Guidance, which is pretty neat. I've never used it. We have better options, but if you're looking for it, these are 4-star TMRs you could use for that. And there you go. We're out of the 4-star TMRs. And we're moving right along into the 5. So hopefully you haven't lost me too much yet. I know I'm going pretty quick. Again, I'm going to put these items in the spreadsheet available in the comments. Here we go. 5-star TMRs. Tifa's Gloves from Advent Children Tifa. These increase your counter chance. They're an accessory. So if you don't have Blizzard Orb, for example, and you want Tifa's Gloves instead, it's there. Delta Star Headband from Sakura of the Delta Star and Epsilon Star Headband from Nicole of the Epsilon Star have high resistance for lightning, water, and ice, respectively. Pretty cool. Onion Boots and similarly Hermes Sandals from Awakened Onion Knight and Warrior of Light Barts give true dual wield 50%, and then either 5% MP refresh and LB fill. Pretty cool. And Sweet Earrings. This one's really, really good. HP and water resistance, 30%. It's an accessory from Sweet Luca. Arden's Hat is absurd for a 5-star TMR. It is HP regen 1800, I think, every turn, MP refresh, and LB fill. It's like the ultimate keep yourself topped off item. Really, really good for a hat. Has some attack on it too. Pretty cool. Conductor's Baton from Rivera. This is one of those items that is really neat in certain circumstances, in particular in Clash of Wills. So this gives 5% MP refresh, which is cool. And then every turn it also heals a random unit. And so in Clash of Wills, where you get morale bonuses from every heal that you do, if you equip 2 of these, then every turn you heal a unit randomly for a little bit of health, and you get morale off of it. And if you've got a whole bunch of people in their like non-physical damage dealing forms, or their non-DPS forms wearing these, you're getting morale every turn for those Clash of Wills where that matters. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool to have those. I like them a lot. I've got like 5 of them. Summer Parasol from Summertime Folka and Citra gives you Esper Fill. This is a staff. You can only equip 1 of these at a time, but it does give you Esper Fill. Twin Bunny Clips from Sylvie, multiple element resistance. We've already talked about why that's good. Ignis's Food Notes is kind of like Riku's Pouch in a 5-star form, and it gives multiple useful skills. Colorful Lay from Aloha Ha Ha Lastwell is evasion gear and some attack, which is nice. Genji Glove used to be one of the strongest 5-star based TMRs in the game. It gives dual wield and now has good stats after an upgrade, so it's really still pretty good if you need to give somebody dual wield. But honestly, most units that have or need dual wield have dual wield in their kit already, and dual wield is now stupid, so whatever. I still have 2 or 3 of these. Martial Glove from Elfrida, it's an accessory. True Double Hand and LB Fill in 1 item, which is pretty cool. Ring of the Lucii from Noctis used to be really, really good for evasion and counter builds. So you have evasion built in, a counter attack that like does light damage, and gives you some spells and abilities, which is pretty cool. Hairpin of Purity from Lotus Mage Fina is a hat with a ribbon effect. We've already talked about why that's good and why that's on this list. The Clan Master Headband from Jiraiya is an accessory. It's unique. It gives you equipped katana. This is the only source of this in the game, so that's kind of cool. Rainbow Robe from Marie, multiple element element resistance. It's a robe, really good. Strategic Cape, multiple element resistances. It's high water and ice. Judge Helm from Zargabath is a helmet, multiple element resist, really, really good. Tetrasilphid Synergy is a source of dual wield and magic stats, which is nice for some units. Courage to Move On. This is our 5-star base attack and LB damage TMR. Pretty cool, from Advent Children Cloud. Similarly, Astral's Projection from Crown Prince Noctis is attack and magic and LB damage, so that's pretty neat. Bahamut Synergy from Draconian Princess Fina is Esper Fill, so you're getting lots and lots of Esper Orbs for free. Advanced Weaponry from Agent Olive gives you True Double Hand. That's supposed to be an H, not a B. And LB Fill automatically every turn. So very useful for some units. All right, we're getting close here. First Rate Treasure Hunter from Adventurer Locke, Charm Immunity, and more. Who likes Charm Immunity? Sometimes you need it. It's there. Heartless Assassin from Assassin's Shadow is a killer item. Master of Machinery from King of Figaro Edgar is a killer item. Wisdom of Hess from Eurytia is auto buffs and mitigations, similar to Miracle Shoes. You stick this on your shift form or your, whatever form you're not using, and then go into the form you are using, and you get to keep your buffs. Pretty cool. And then Barbarisha's Spirit from Barbarisha gives multiple killers, but for magic only. It's a thing, It gives 4 different killers but for magic only. And there you go. Those are the 5-star TMRs. Now, before I move into the STMRs, we're going to hit a couple other different categories here. I'm going to pop those up on the screen. We've got friend point units. So Dragon Killer from Skaha is a killer. Stone Killer from King Giot is a killer. Aquan Killer from Ali is a killer. Excuse me, I need a drink of water real quick. And then a random one, Camouflage from Montana, gives you 50% decreased chance of being targeted. So if you can equip 2 of these, you have minus 100%. Kind of neat. But these are from Friend Point, so you can obviously grab as many of these as you want. And then a couple honorable mentions. Photon Core from Godria is an accessory with True Double Hand and Reaper Fairy Killer on it, which is extremely valuable, and I really regret not having more of these. I only have 2, and I've only ever pulled 2 Godria. So yeah, I need more of those. And then Magic Sanctuary from Kryla. It's an ability. It gives you high spirit and all element resistance and LB fill in 1 slot. So it's very, very slot efficient and very, very good. And that wraps up the TMRs that I think are really good to have multiple copies of, potentially, depending on how many resources you have. And we're going to move on to the STMRs. If you were live and in person, I would say, what questions do you have? And wait 7 seconds while I took a sip of my water. But you're not. So we're going to move on. So this next category is STMRs. The only ones you can include are obviously 5-star base units, because that's the first instance of us getting STMRs, unless we're talking about units like Waka or Zell. We're not counting those. We're just counting 5-star base STMRs. We're not counting 4-star base STMRs or 3-star base STMRs. So here we go. Right at the top of the list, Aerith's Choker. This is unique in that it gives high spirit and modifier boosts for holy spells and holy abilities. So modifiers I mentioned in a recent video are very, very important. Anything that can boost your modifiers is useful. If you're planning on doing holy damage, it's a good way to go. Barbarisha's Bangles from Barbarisha is the same idea. It boosts modifiers for wind spells, which is pretty cool. Black Rosalia from Sakura of the Delta Star, LB damage on a rod. It is what it is. Black Sparky from Agent Olive is a two-handed gun. Has LB damage and also boasts. I don't know if it still does. It used to boast having a different variance than other two-handed guns. I think they've probably unified that. But Black Sparky is still a solid weapon. Chocobo Feather Accessory from Chocobo Fina is an accessory. It gives you guts. It's our first instance of death protection from damage. So anything that's just going to reduce you to 0 health now only reduces you to, like, you know, whatever percentage the guts tells you that you're going to have left. Kind of cool. Coin of Fate from King of Figaro Edgar is a ribbon effect. Also has some attack on it. Crimson Butterfly gives you dual wield and evasion. Pairs really nicely with Locke's dagger down below from Adventurer Locke. Gives you physical and magical evasion. So those, you know, pair of daggers is pretty nice. Flame Lord's armor, Dark Lord's heavy armor from Veritas of the Dark and Flame gives you very high dark and fire resistance, 80%, which is pretty cool. Grand Reverie from Madame Adele gives you stop immunity, which is a really nice pickup from a 5-star base item. This is one of the easiest ways to get stop immunity on your party. So multiple copies of this is super good. Heliolite from Saul is an accessory that has high magic and MP cost reduction. Very, very nice. Holographic Transceiver from Operative Xyrus is double killers, Dragon Machine. Honor of Grand Shelt from Sacred Shield Charlotte, 50% ice and light resist, and it has the best spirit on a heavy shield in the game currently. Very nice. Knight's Medal from Awakened Rain. It's an accessory. It gives you just kind of reasonable stats in all element resistance, which is nice. Krill's Scrunchie is Magic Hat with ribbon effect on it. Locke's Dagger I already mentioned. Lucid Lenses from Queen. It has attack and guts on it. Minister's Coat from Wizardess Shantoto. Gives you LB damage on a robe. Kind of nice for mages. Nyx's Dagger from Nyx. You can have all element resistance on a weapon. You can wear 2 of these. Worth noting that they are a fire element weapon, so sometimes that's good and sometimes that's not. It's up to you. Olive's Journal from Olive is an accessory that gives you killers. Scanning Goggles from Eileen is a hat that gives multiple killers. Shield of Light from Awakened Warrior of Light gives multiple element resistances, and it's a heavy shield with defense on it. Pretty cool. Storm Bunny Jacket from Esther is an armor with multiple killers. 3 stars from Transterra is an accessory with MP cost reduction, which is important. We're going to scroll on down. A Lion's Heart from Squall is an ability. LB damage and LB fill. Kind of nice. Multiple killers from Battle Intelligence from Regina, which is nice. Multiple element resistance very high from Beach Girls, Cool Beauty, and Duty to the World. Duty to the World from Luna Freya also has evoke damage on it. So that's cool. Summertime Fina and Lid and Folka and Citra give you the other ones. Oh, there's a typo there. Doesn't really matter. I'll fix it later. Exceptional Ingenuity from Nicole of the Epsilon Star. All element resist, LB fill, and good MP. Very, very nice item. Force Mysterian from Lunera is the best demon killer in the game. It's 100% demon killer. Hexathion's Revelation from Noctis is multiple element resistances. High class dagger from Riku Final Fantasy X-2 version is the highest LB fill materia in the game, which is 6 LB fill. Icy Passion from Sweet Nicole is high ice resistance. Judge's Oath from Zargabath is all element resistance and bulk, which is really good. Bulk, of course, being like defense, HP, spirit. Last Guardian gives you multiple killers from Noel. Luca's Valentine Recipe from Sweet Luca gives multiple element resistances and bulk. Urba's Boon from Daughter of Destiny Vanille is Guts and High Magic and High Spirit. Pretty cool. Original Arrival from Marie is all element resistance, just like her robe. Overcoming Death from Dark Mage X Death is multiple killers, magic only. That's what it is. Shining Guardian of Hope from Neverending Hope is 100% light resistance and some other stuff. And Weapon Specialist Furion from Wild Rose. Weapon Specialist from Wild Rose Furion is multiple killers. Again, very, very useful 5-star TMR. Some honorable mentions. These are units that you can't get all the time because they're not always on banner, but they come around a lot. Is Floating Hearts from Sakura and Ayaka. They have really high MP, which matters a lot. It's the highest MP item and accessory in the game. Matters a lot for Olivera right now. And Kryla's Veil from Kryla is a hat with all element resistance, as well as really high spirit. One that I'm realizing that I also left off is Renoa. Regular 5-star Renoa's STMR does have multiple resistances, as well as, I believe, Stop and Charm immunity. It might only be like 50% though, so that might be why I didn't include it, but it's still good to have multiple copies of. And there you go. So that's the bottom of my list, if you can believe it. We went through a lot in a pretty short span of time, I would say, but I didn't want this video to drag on and on and on and on and on. So there it is. Rooks, thank you for the idea. What did I miss? So if you think I missed one that I should have definitely had on this list, let me know in the comments and we can talk about it. If you think I should do this for Neovision's units as well, maybe, I don't know. Let me know about that one too. Or if there's something else that you think you'd like to see me talk about in the coming days, you know, as we've got not a lot to do because I can't get into the game, you know, let me know. I'd be happy to try and go over something as well. But for right now, that's it. I think 26 minutes is enough. So you guys be good to each other. Rooks, thank you again for the idea, and we'll see you in whatever next video is coming. Take care.